Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to sound natural in English? As if you were born speaking it? Imagine a method that feels less like studying and more like stepping into another person's voice, matching their rhythm, tone, and emotion. That method is shadowing, a powerful technique that transforms the way you practice English. In today's journey, you won't just repeat words, you'll experience mysterious stories, complex sentences, and even a full job interview simulation. Each step hides a surprise, keeping you curious about what's coming next while training your mouth and mind to speak with confidence. When you first hear the word shadowing, you might imagine simply copying someone, like a shadow follows a person on a sunny day. But in language learning, shadowing is far more fascinating, almost mysterious in the way it reshapes how your brain and tongue work together. Instead of memorizing rules or endlessly drilling vocabulary, you step into the rhythm of real speech. Think of it as a hidden door into fluency, one that most learners never even discover. The moment you try it, you realize you're not just practicing English, you're almost borrowing the voice of a native speaker, and that feels powerful. At its core, shadowing is deceptively simple. You listen carefully to a sentence, and then you repeat it out loud, imitating not only the words, but also the intonation, pauses, and emotions. Yet, beneath this simple surface lies the real secret. It rewires your speaking muscles. You're not only training your ears to hear English the way natives speak it, you're also teaching your mouth and vocal cords to reproduce those exact sounds in real time. With each attempt, you're building a kind of muscle memory, just like athletes who repeat a move until it becomes automatic. What makes shadowing so intriguing is that it works anywhere, anytime, often in the most unexpected moments. Some learners practice while walking to work, others while cooking, and some even in the shower. The flexibility means there are no excuses. You can always sneak in a few minutes of practice. And here's the curious part. The more unusual the setting, the better you remember the rhythm later. Have you ever tried repeating a mysterious story while stirring soup? It sticks in your memory far longer than you'd expect. But perhaps the most captivating thing about shadowing is its ability to unlock fluency that you didn't know you had. Many learners confess that they understand English when reading or listening, but when it's their turn to speak, the words freeze. Shadowing breaks this invisible barrier. Suddenly, sentences that once felt impossible to say roll off your tongue with surprising ease. It's like discovering a secret tunnel between understanding and speaking, one that bypasses hesitation and leads directly to confidence. In today's lesson, we'll dive deeper into this technique through 3 challenging, almost mysterious long sentences. These are not just random phrases. They are carefully chosen to stretch your limits, to make your mouth stumble at first, and then, with repetition, to flow like a river. You'll notice how complex ideas, once intimidating, become manageable when broken into smaller pieces. You'll experience how rhythm carries meaning just as much as vocabulary. And most importantly, you'll begin to feel the thrill of speaking English in a way that sounds not robotic, but alive, confident, and natural. So, as we begin this journey, keep your curiosity alive. Every sentence we shadow is not just practice. It's a step into a more fluent version of yours. Now that you understand how shadowing works and why it feels almost like discovering a secret passage to fluency, let's step into the real challenge: mastering long and complex sentences. At first, these sentences might look intimidating. So many words, clauses, and tricky pronunciations packed together. But that's exactly why they're so powerful. By practicing them, you're not just repeating lines, you're training your mind to handle the speed, rhythm, and flow of real English conversations, especially in professional or academic situations where clarity matters the most. Imagine this. You're in a meeting or perhaps giving a presentation. Instead of pausing awkwardly, breaking your thoughts into fragments, you smoothly deliver an entire idea in one elegant sentence. People stop and listen because your words flow with confidence. That's the gift of shadowing complex structures. It transforms long sentences from a scary obstacle into your strongest weapon. But here's the curious twist. The process doesn't start with speaking. It begins with listening. You might think, how can listening first make me a better speaker? The answer lies in rhythm and intonation. When you listen carefully without trying to repeat immediately, you absorb the melody of English, the rise and fall of the voice, the natural pauses, the stress on certain words. It's almost like listening to music before trying to sing along. Without this first step, your practice risks sounding flat or mechanical. With it, your speech becomes alive and authentic. Once you've absorbed the rhythm, the second step is breaking the sentence down into smaller, manageable parts. This is where the real transformation happens. Think of it like solving a puzzle. Each small piece feels simple on its own, but as you fit them together, the full picture emerges. At first, your tongue may stumble over phrases like unexpected breakthrough in quantum computing or rarely seen in contemporary horology. But with repetition, those once difficult words begin to slide naturally off your tongue. You're no longer struggling, you're performing. And finally, the third step is putting it all back together. This is where the magic reveals itself. Suddenly, the entire sentence that once seemed impossible flows out of your mouth in one smooth stream. You feel a rush of accomplishment, almost like unlocking a hidden level in a game. Each long sentence you master doesn't just improve your vocabulary or pronunciation, it boosts your confidence. You begin to think, if I can say this, what else can I say? That spark of belief is what drives your progress forward. The beauty of this practice is that it mirrors real-life communication. English isn't spoken in short, isolated words. It's delivered in connected, flowing thoughts. By shadowing long sentences, you're preparing yourself for the exact rhythm you'll need in interviews, debates, or daily conversations with native speakers. And the more you practice, the more natural. After practicing those long and complex sentences, you might be wondering, how does this actually help me in the real world? The answer is simple. Shadowing doesn't just prepare you for abstract practice. It equips you for real-life conversations where confidence and fluency matter the most. And one of the most powerful ways to see this in action is through a job interview simulation. Think about it for a moment. A job interview is not just a test of your knowledge, it's a performance. Every word you say, every pause, and every intonation communicates something about you. Many English learners freeze in such situations, not because they lack the skills, but because they cannot bring their knowledge and vocabulary together quickly under pressure. Shadowing solves this by giving you ready-made patterns of speech, rehearsed so deeply that they feel natural when you need them most. This is where our practice becomes truly exciting. We step into the shoes of Sarah, a candidate applying for a position as an environmental policy analyst. By shadowing her answers, you're not only practicing English fluency, you're also absorbing professional language, persuasive phrasing, and the kind of vocabulary that impresses interviewers. Instead of memorizing stiff sentences, you learn to deliver them with rhythm and conviction, sounding like someone who truly belongs in the room. But here's the fascinating part. It's not just about copying Sarah's words. As you shadow her responses, you train your ear to catch how she introduces herself warmly, how she transitions smoothly from her background to her strengths, and even how she handles tricky questions about weaknesses. You start noticing the subtle rises and falls in her voice, the pauses that give her answers weight, and the confident tone that makes her credible. Shadowing allows you to borrow that confidence, and with practice, it becomes yours. Imagine being able to answer with ease when asked, "Tell me about yourself?" Instead of stumbling, you respond fluently, with a story that flows naturally. Picture yourself explaining your strengths with real-life examples, using precise vocabulary without hesitation. Even when asked about weaknesses, you don't panic. You deliver a thoughtful, well-structured answer that shows growth and self-awareness. That's the kind of transformation shadowing can bring. And the curiosity grows. The more you practice, the more you realize that these skills go far beyond interviews. They prepare you for networking events, professional presentations, and even casual conversations where you want to make a strong impression. Each shadowed answer builds your ability to think and speak like a professional in English. So, as we move into Sarah's interview story, don't just repeat mechanically. Step into her shoes, feel her confidence, notice her structure, and imagine yourself delivering those same answers. By the end, you won't just have practiced English, you'll have rehearsed success. After shadowing Sarah's professional interview, you've experienced how this technique builds confidence for real-world scenarios. But fluency in English isn't only about sounding professional, it's also about expressing emotions, creating atmosphere, and capturing attention in everyday storytelling. This is where our practice takes an intriguing twist. To truly expand your speaking ability, we now step into the world of mysterious and strange stories. Why mysterious stories? Because they demand a different kind of delivery. In an interview, your goal is to sound polished, confident, and professional. But in storytelling, your goal is to draw the listener in. You need to use suspense, tone shifts, and subtle changes in rhythm to make your words alive. Shadowing these stories gives you practice in speaking with curiosity, fear, wonder, and excitement. All emotions that make communication powerful and memorable. Imagine saying, "I keep having this dream," with a slow, almost hesitant tone, creating suspense right from the start. Or describing an old rocking horse with eyes that seem to follow you, letting your voice drop into a whisper to send shivers down the listener's spine. These shifts in intonation are what transform ordinary English into captivating speech. And the more you shadow such stories, the more comfortable you become with controlling your voice. Not just the words. Another fascinating benefit of practicing with strange stories is vocabulary expansion. These tales are filled with descriptive phrases, dusty leather-bound diary, pristine pages, cryptic sentence, grimace turning to a smile. Each one paints a picture in the listener's mind. By repeating them, you internalize not only new words but also how to weave them into vivid expressions. This is the kind of English that makes people stop and listen because it sparks imagination. But here's where curiosity really takes hold. The stories themselves leave you with questions. Was the diary truly predicting the future? Did the painting's expressions really change? Was the old mill alive with ghosts of the past? The uncertainty keeps your mind engaged, and that engagement strengthens memory. You're not just repeating lines, you're experiencing the story as if it were real. This emotional connection makes your practice stick far deeper than ordinary drills. And just like in the interview simulation, shadowing mysterious stories has real-life applications. Think about telling friends an anecdote in English, sharing an unusual travel experience, or giving a presentation where you need to hold attention. The skills you practice here, intonation, suspense, descriptive language, make you a storyteller, not just a speaker. So, as we step into these strange and captivating tales, let yourself play with your voice. Whisper when the story calls for it. Emphasize words that create tension. Pause just long enough to let curiosity build. You'll find that English isn't just a language, it's a tool. After traveling through mysterious stories filled with suspense and curiosity, you've experienced how shadowing can be more than just practice. It can be an adventure. From professional interviews to eerie tales of rocking horses, diaries, and shifting paintings, each step has stretched your voice, your imagination, and your confidence. But now comes the most important question. What will you do with this new power? The truth is, shadowing only works if you make it part of your daily life. Just like exercising at the gym or practicing a musical instrument, fluency grows with consistency. Even 10 minutes a day is enough to transform your English, as long as you show up and practice. Remember how the stories kept you curious? How the interview made you feel professional? How the complex sentences challenged you? That same energy can fuel your daily routine. Each repetition is not just practice, it's another brick in the foundation of your fluency. Think of it this way. Every time you shadow a sentence, you're training your brain and mouth to work together. At first, it may feel mechanical, but soon it becomes second nature. One day, without even realizing it, you'll find yourself speaking with the same rhythm and confidence you've been practicing. That's when you know the technique has truly worked. And here's where the magic continues. Shadowing doesn't just improve your pronunciation or vocabulary, it changes the way you feel about English. No longer will you hesitate, second-guess, or worry about sounding robotic. Instead, you'll discover the thrill of expressing yourself clearly, with emotion, and with a voice that feels authentically yours. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. The more you shadow, the more natural that connection becomes. So, as we close today's journey, remember this. Fluency is not a finish line, it's a path you walk every day. The mysterious stories we explored remind you that English can be fun, unpredictable, even thrilling. The interview practice shows you that English can open doors to opportunities. and the complex sentences prove that you can handle challenges you once thought were impossible. Together, these lessons reveal a simple truth: your potential in English is much greater than you realize. Now, the choice is in your hands. Will you take 5 minutes tomorrow to practice? Will you repeat one of the mysterious stories? Or perhaps shadow Sarah's confident interview answers again? Every yes you give to these small steps is a yes to your future fluency. Stay curious, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. With shadowing, English is no longer just a subject you study. It's a living skill you embody. One sentence, one story, one day at a time. Keep practicing, and before long, you'll look back and realize that the fluent, confident English speaker you dreamed of becoming is already here. You've simply unlocked what was inside you all along.